What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Sunday night, everybody. I was moving a lot of things to my new home. I already posted something that this past week I got to sign the papers for my new rental with my wife, and she's actually defending her thesis tomorrow to become an official PhD. So I'm not going to be available tomorrow, but I am going to leave you with a couple of videos so you can chew on them over the next 48 hours or so. The first video I'm doing has to do with a little update from Skywatcher and that whole NASA being present for an alleged landing thing. Dr. Adam Yingling was part of this. I already did a video about him. Just breeze past some of his resume and why he could be one of these figures that is similar to Tim Taylor. And I don't know if you guys remember, but recently NASA was just changed from a space exploration agency to a spy and intelligence agency. Officially, this was an executive order from President Trump. I think that the one who proposed this was the new Secretary of Transportation and the new NASA chief, Sean Duffy. With that in mind, just keep that in mind that NASA is now an intelligence and spy agency. Somebody asked something to Ross Coulthart today. As you guys know, he is one of Skywatcher's friends, and he has been trying to get a little more information about whatever they're going to release, because people keep thinking that Skywatcher is dissolved for some reason. I know that Mr. Mike Battista recently came out on a Ross Coulthart interview showing what he thinks is an anomalous being. I just saw lights, if I'm honest with you. And it's not really a good look if you go to the internet and you offer access to super secret UAP stuff for a certain amount of money, which is not cheap though. Yeah, I've been trying to keep my distance a little bit from Skywatcher, but I think this update from Ross is interesting. And just let me know what you guys think. Shout out to my buddy Skywatch Signal for clipping this one. This is from today's reality check with Ross Coulthart on News Nation. Ross has confirmed that Skywatchers are working on new videos that will be released soon. The latest videos will be focused on the psionics aspect. I already heard about this. He also states how frustrated he is with the lack of transparency from the team. This is Jake Barber, Alex Clokus, and whoever is left in the Skywatcher team. I no longer consider James Fowler to be part of the team. I don't think that Mike Battista is part of the team either. He seems to be doing his own thing. So whatever happened there, a lot of people left the Skywatcher initiative and some stayed. I guess that Alex Clokus and Jake Barber are still part of that team. So let's hear what Ross has to say to this question.
Absolutely. We have an email from Mark that came in. In a video on YouTube, it is claimed that the Skywatcher program actually got a UAP to land in the presence of NASA. Have you heard anything about this from any of your sources? There didn't seem to be anything about it on Skywatcher website last time I checked. This is something you may want to ask the people at Skywatcher about and maybe even offer to do an interview with them. Hopefully this would be something that they can agree to and not be restricted by any NDAs.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Look, I have heard about an incident which I have not been told about officially. I'm aware that two psionic operators went off on their own. They weren't wearing cameras. They weren't carrying any kind of video equipment. And in the course of an encounter, a summoning that they were trying to do privately, an object, a craft, did apparently land in front of them. I'm assuming that this story is being held back by Alex Clokus and Skywatcher for what I'm told we can expect to be the next installment of their videos that they're producing, which they often put up online. They've put two or three previous videos up online. And this next one's meant to be on psionics. So I've invited Alex Clokus, Skywatcher, multiple times. We have an open invitation to Skywatcher to appear. I do think, in the interests of public disclosure, it would be great to get somebody from Skywatcher on at some stage to talk about what they're up to, because it's one of the things we get questions about more than most. People are really interested and excited and happy to see that there is an organization that's properly funded, that's doing good work investigating UAPs. And they have, including to me, made multiple promises about being transparent and open. And I am, like everyone else, getting frustrated with the degree of secrecy surrounding the Skywatcher operation. I can only assume it's because they want to make their own films and do their own media, and we welcome that, but it would be great at some stage to get Alex Clokus, Jake, anybody else from Skywatcher who's interested in coming on and talking, to actually talk about what they've been doing, especially with the psionics. And yes, we've heard about this incident involving an alleged landing. Carl Crusher mentioned it to me when we were doing the work with Magic Mike Battista a few weeks ago. And we really haven't heard any more. Love to hear more.
Me too. And yeah, apparently, and this is what it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ross Coulthart is saying here that one of the potential pieces of footage that Skywatcher is preparing for their next episode, it could be this landing. And the reason that it is also being hidden so much and not talked about, apart from it being obviously part of the package that is going to be delivered in the next episode, is that Dr. Yingling was there. And this is something that Patrick from VetEd put out in his channel. That was a really good report, in my opinion. And it did uncover some things that some of these people, including Alex and even Jake Barber, did not want out yet. And I suspect this is one of the reasons also why the Skywatcher team in general has gone completely silent on people. Because even I, who also had contact with some of the members, haven't heard from them in a while. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because Dr. Yingling's name came out. Everybody tweeted it when he visited the Skywatcher initiative, and then they retracted their tweets. They erased a bunch of them, and they're not talking about Dr. Yingling. So whatever happened in that incident, I think we can expect for a video or something in the next episode to address this event, like Ross Coulthart says. But I also want to just remind people that this Skywatcher initiative, even though it's well funded, even though some of the people inside the team seem to be really cooperative and really nice, they're always very polite and they almost always respond to inquiries, although it hasn't happened recently for the reasons I already told you. But despite that, it does seem like, for example, people from the Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp initiative and the effort that is going on there, none of them really talk about Skywatcher at all. That is like a separate effort. And if we're talking about this effort being a joint effort between different factions, I would guess that whatever Skywatcher is trying to do should be in line with whatever Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are trying to do with the hearings and all that. But when you look at what's going on in the background, they don't trust each other. They don't seem to trust each other. Even though when they ask them and they have to give like a politically correct answer, that's exactly what they do, but they don't talk about each other at all. Only when they're asked, and whatever they say seems like a prepared statement, which is really weird. And I know that the Corbell camp doesn't trust Jake Barber. They think that something is weird, something is off about all of that initiative. And you can ask anybody from that effort, any of the whistleblowers, something is going on that is weird, that I still can't quite put my finger on. And whatever that is, it tells you about a division there is between the camp that was part of the hearings recently and the camp that is part of the Skywatcher initiative, which also includes people like Ross Coulthart and others. And I'm trying to ask what's going on. I'm trying to ask why there seems to be this division, but it's going to be difficult because they all like to keep their cards close to the chest. And it can be a little frustrating because they're supposed to be on the same team. Yet when somebody like me goes and asks, hey, why are you not talking about this other effort as much as whatever you're reporting? The response I get is just laughter and mockery. And they just don't want to say why they don't want to cooperate amongst each other. And I think that's a problem. I think they need to be more forthcoming. Another example of this is the whole effort with Jay Stratton and Dan Farah and everybody from the Age of Disclosure film that seem to be doing their own thing as well. And that's what they're reporting. That's what they're working on. And anything else that is not that, they have nothing to say about it. So you can see there is clearly division. And I don't know why, but I'm going to try and keep asking until I get a response. Even though people like Ross, for example, may think I'm nosy and annoying. I know I can be that. I don't care. I'm going to keep asking. And people, for example, I can see people like Jake Barber avoiding talking to someone like me because I am a journalist. And whatever information I do get, as long as it doesn't put anybody in danger, I will release it. So any information that I could have right now, the only reason I'm not releasing whatever information I may have is because it jeopardizes other people. Whenever that stops happening, whenever people are no longer jeopardized by me releasing information, that's when I release it. That's the modus operandi that I like to use. And I don't know what's the deal. I hope that Ross is right. I hope that whatever video Skywatcher puts out in the next chapter addresses the report that Patrick from Vetted put out about this alleged NASA landing that Carl Crusher told him about in one of his videos. And I hope that they also address Dr. Adam Yingling, because I think he is very important to whatever this is. And just keep in mind, NASA is now a spy and intelligence agency. So it's going to be way more difficult, if it wasn't already, for them to release any information. But we're going to keep trying to get it out of them. So let me know what you think in the comments about this potential new video that Skywatcher may or may not release in the next chapter of this landing. I mean, they did say at the beginning of the year that they were going to record a landing and show it to the world, and that was going to be disclosure. Could this be it, or is this just more speculation and nothing will happen? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, and it is what helps us the most. So thank you. But if you want to support us in other ways, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can become a member on YouTube, or you can support us through KGRA. Anything you choose to do is always appreciated, so thank you. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Skywatcher. Always. Bye.